I wasn't invited to my sister's wedding, even though I paid for it. She said I didn't fit the vibe. But her smile disappeared when the venue canceled everything last minute, and she realized what had happened. I found out I wasn't invited in a strange way, through a social media post, not a conversation or a letter. There was a picture of the wedding invite, all fancy and pretty, with the words, "The countdown begins. Can't wait to celebrate with all my loved ones on the most special day of my life." Everyone was invited, except for me. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe my invitation got lost or she hadn't had a chance to tell me yet. I had spent months helping her get the wedding she wanted. I paid for the venue deposit, the catering, and even money for a dress she hadn't even shown me. I checked the comments, and people were excited to be part of the wedding. That's when I started feeling sick inside. I messaged her, simply asking, "Hey, I saw the post. I never got my invite. Did it get lost?" I waited, but there was no reply. An hour went by, then two. By the time the sun set, I thought maybe she was just busy and had forgotten to reply. Then, at 10:34 p.m., I finally got a message. "Sister, hey, I was going to talk to you about this. We had to make some tough choices with the guest list. It's a very curated event. You know, we had to keep it elegant. No offense, but you don't really fit the vibe. I know you'll be happy for me from afar though. Love you." I read the message over and over. I wasn't just forgotten, I was left out on purpose, and I knew why. I wasn't like her friends. They wore fancy clothes and laughed at high-end cocktail parties. I owned an auto repair shop, a successful one that made good money, especially working on luxury cars. But to my family, I was just a grease-stained mechanic with rough hands and the smell of gasoline. My sister had always looked down on me. She thought success meant sitting in an office, wearing a suit, not running a garage. No matter how much money I made, it wasn't good enough for her. I had always helped her when she needed it. When she wanted a big wedding and couldn't afford it, I paid for the venue, catering, and part of her dress. And now, I wasn't even invited. It wasn't the first time my family had treated me like an outsider. There had always been small comments, like when my sister introduced me to her friends as my brother who just runs a car shop, like I wasn't important. But I still helped, and now, I wasn't even worth an invite. The next morning, I went to my parents' house, quietly, just to hear what they'd say when they didn't expect me. I overheard my mom say, "Well, you know how he is," and my sister replied, "I can't have him embarrassing me. I need this to be a sophisticated event." I stepped into the room. My sister looked pale. My mom quickly turned away. I asked, "So that's how you see me?" My sister acted like it was no big deal. "It's just not your kind of crowd." I asked, "My kind of crowd?" She told me it wasn't about money but image, that I didn't fit in with her fancy friends. I told her, "I own a business. I make more money than most of the people you're inviting, but I'm not good enough because I don't wear a suit every day." She said, "It's not about money, it's about image. I just don't think you'd fit in." It didn't matter that I had helped her so much. To them, I was always the mechanic, not good enough for their world. I left, and as I drove back to my shop, my phone buzzed with a text from my sister. She asked if I could still help pay for the cake. I laughed so hard I had to pull over. She really thought I was going to pay after everything. That was it. I had been there for them all these years, always saying yes, always helping, but this was the last straw. I wasn't going to be their safety net anymore, not after the way they treated me. She thought I'd keep giving without respect, but not anymore. I texted her, "Me? Sorry, I wouldn't want to embarrass you by being at your wedding. You'll figure it out without me. Good luck." No emojis, no fake kindness, just a clear message. Within 5 minutes, she called. I let it go to voicemail. Then she called again, then mom, then dad. By the end of the night I had a dozen missed calls. The next morning, frantic texts flooded in. "Sister, what do you mean you're not paying? The cake is already ordered." "Sister, you can't just back out. We're counting on you." "Mom, sweetheart, don't be spiteful, it's a misunderstanding." "Dad, we raised you better than this." Not one apology, just demands. I called my sister. She answered right away. "Listen, you're acting crazy, you already agreed to pay." "So I changed my mind," I said. Silence. Then, "What?" "I'm not paying another dime, figure it out yourself." "Are you serious? You're betraying me?" I laughed. "Like how you forgot to invite me because I don't fit the vibe?" Or how you and Mom talked about me like I'm a joke. That's betrayal. She snapped. That was about appearances. This is money, real responsibility. Not my problem. You don't want me there, so I won't give you money. Grow up, she said. I reminded her. You used me like an ATM, took every dollar and still looked down on me. You wouldn't even miss it, she sneered. Exactly, I said. None of this money is yours anymore, and I hung up. She didn't call again for a week, but Mom and Dad kept guilting me. Your sister is so stressed. It's already planned. What's a few thousand to you? Family helps family. I reminded them I'd built my business from nothing, worked 16-hour days, paid for half her wedding, yet was treated like dirt. You figure it out. I'm out, I said, and blocked their numbers. 2 days of silence passed, then Mom showed up at my shop unannounced. She stood in my garage, uneasy among the cars and mechanics. Mom, we need to talk. I nodded toward my office. She sat, looking uncomfortable. Mom, your sister is in trouble. The bakery won't give her cake until she pays. The venue might cancel unless she settles the bill. The florist isn't paid either. I said nothing. Mom, the wedding is in 2 weeks, and she can't afford it. That's too bad, I replied. Mom, you have the money, you could help and barely feel it. I smiled. Mom, stop being petty. You agreed to pay, she planned everything based on that. Like she planned her guest list without me? I asked. Mom, this isn't the same thing. Sure it is, I said. I told my mom. She made her choice. I made mine. If she wants a wedding without me, she doesn't need my money. My mom frowned and said, if you don't help, she'll have to downgrade everything. She'll be embarrassed. I laughed. So that's the real problem. She said, it's not just about looks, she deserves a beautiful wedding. I answered, she deserves what she can actually pay for. Clearly, she can't afford her dream wedding. Mom's face went hard. So you'll just watch her suffer? She's not suffering, I said. She's finally getting a reality check. She stood up. You'll regret this, she warned. Maybe, I shrugged, and felt relief. Over the next few days, my sister posted on Facebook, it hurts when people you count on let you down. I ignored it. Our cousin called. Hey, what's going on? She said you bailed on paying. I said, that's right, because she didn't invite me. He went quiet, then said, oh. I get it. My sister texted, can we talk? I waited an hour, then replied, about what? She asked to meet for coffee. I agreed. At the cafe, she put on a forced smile and said, I know you're upset. I cut in, I'm not upset. I just see things clearly now. She said, you're useful when I need something, but when you're not, I toss you aside. I said, exactly. You used my money but didn't want me at your wedding. You can't have both. She asked, if I invite you now, will you help? I stood up, smiled, and said, enjoy your wedding, but figure it out without me. Then I left. Wedding day, I woke up free, no calls, no guilt. 11:27 a.m. Mom called, I let it ring. 11:42 a.m. Dad called, I ignored it. 12:03 p.m. Cousin texted, they just got kicked out of the venue. I laughed. Without my payment, the venue locked the doors. The cake and flowers were cancelled. Guests in suits and dresses stood outside confused. At 1:15 p.m., my sister called. I picked up. Sister, panicked, are you happy now? The wedding's ruined. Me, calm, didn't have the money, you knew that. Sister, you let me fail. Me, no, you failed yourself. She whispered, why couldn't you just help? I snapped, because I was always your ATM. You never respected me, she muttered. I didn't mean it like that. I said, you never do. Then I hung up. They ended up holding the wedding in someone's backyard, simple, last minute, and bittersweet. My sister spent the night in tears. I didn't reach out or apologize, I let them handle it. 1 year later, my parents finally stopped pressuring me. They're careful now, if they push, I'll walk away for good. My sister never asked me for money again. And me? I'm still running my shop, doing great, and every dollar I earn is truly mine. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more great stories. Don't forget to tap the notification bell, so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments, we love hearing from you. See you next time, and take care.